Hi, good evening, and a warm welcome to all the participants in today's webinar. We'll allow a couple of minutes to everyone to join in and settle down, and then we'll get started with today's discussion. There are quite a few topics that we have to discuss, so we'll try to get started as soon as possible, but let's give a couple of minutes to everyone. In the meantime, there are a few important things that we have to discuss. But before that, let me quickly check on the live stream because all of you would want to have the recording of today's session. And for that, live stream is crucial. So let me quickly check on that if it is working fine. So allow me a few seconds to check on that. Perfect. The live stream is working fine. So that is good. So I mentioned, and I can see there are a few participants who have just joined. So let me welcome them as well. Good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. And I was just mentioning that we are going to give a couple of minutes to all the participants to join and settle down, and then we'll get started. But in the meantime, there are a few important points that I wanted to discuss. And the first one is how are we going to interact? Because there's some information, there's some knowledge that I'm going to share with you. Now, it is not necessary that you are going to understand or agree with everything that I'm saying. You may have a different opinion, or you may have a different understanding, and you may want to seek clarification. How are you going to do that? So for that, you are going to use an option called Q&A. So if you look down below in the navigation, that's where you'll find there is an option which says Q&A. If you're joining through a smartphone or tablet, then you'll find that option in the function menu, which is there down below. So using that option, using the Q&A option, you'll be asking your question. And towards the end of the session, we'll dedicate uh, about 10-15 minutes to answer any question that you may have. And for our other interactions, for example, I can see there's a participant who has shared about their business. So you can also connect and network with other business owners who are also joining us here today. It is a great networking opportunity, and you should leverage it. God knows you may be able to find a buyer or supplier in today's session, right? So why to miss this opportunity? You should utilize this opportunity. If I was in your place, I'll certainly utilize that. In fact, I will also share my contact details with all of you, and I would love to be in touch with you so that I can help you in growing your business directly. All right. So for your interactions with other members, or at some point, I may want to seek your inputs, etc. For that, we are going to use chat. I will not advise you to add your questions in the chat because sometimes there is a lot of exchange happening in chat, and there's a possibility that I may miss out on your question. All right. So for questions, use Q&A. And you don't have to wait all the while when we break into the question answer round. That's where you're adding your question in the chat. You don't have to do that. Whenever that question comes to your mind, immediately add that. And it is possible for me, because I'm going to keep the Q&A panel open on the other monitor. So if it is possible for me to answer that question then and there, or include it in my discussion, I'll certainly do that. But if it is not possible for me to answer it, or for some reason I didn't see that question, so in that case, I'm going to take up that question in the Q&A round when we break into the Q&A round. Right. So those are a few things I wanted to share with you before we get started. So I think this is where we should get started. I should not take more of your time, and we should immediately get started with our discussion. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and you'll start seeing my screen in next few seconds. And before I do that, my camera is giving me trouble. So at this moment, I can see it is working fine. But during the webinar, if camera switches off for some reason, there's some issue happening. I'm not yet able to resolve it. So as of now, the camera is working, but if it goes away during the session, don't get worried. I will be there. It is just that the camera has stopped working. All right. So this is where I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we will get started with today's webinar, where we are going to discuss two very interesting topics. One is how to complete your online store. And the second is how to list your products on GlobalLinker Marketplace. So both are very interesting topics, and we'll try to cover them in as detailed manner as possible. So this is where I'm starting to share my screen. Now, while I'm doing that, if for some reason you're not able to see the screen share when I start it, I'm just starting. I've just clicked on the button, and in next few seconds, you should be able to see my screen. So I will need firstly a confirmation from anyone from the audience that you are able to see my screen. So if anyone from the audience, if you can confirm, I've started the screen share. So if you can confirm that you're able to see the screen, that will be helpful. So I can see Bipinji has confirmed that my screen is visible, and that black box that you're seeing, it will also go away. So firstly, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Adnan. I'm Director SME E-commerce Growth at GlobalLinker. My functional or my focus area at GlobalLinker is digital commerce, or I head digital commerce at GlobalLinker. But in addition to my functional responsibilities, I also actively work on sharing information or knowledge with business owners on how they can leverage digital technology to grow their business. Because in today's day and age, you'll also agree that there is no lack of solution. There are many, many, many solutions. In fact, there are so many solutions. Even very tech savvy individuals are not able to know each and every solution, or each and every program which is out there. So from a business owner's perspective, the biggest challenge is knowing or understanding how to utilize the various digital technology solutions which are out there, so that you can effectively utilize them, and then you can utilize or use them to your benefit and grow your business through that. So that's where we conduct a lot of training sessions and webinar. And I had the wonderful opportunity of conducting more than 500 such sessions, and had been blessed to interact with about 12,000 business owners in various countries. So that is a quick introduction about myself. Now, straight away, we'll move ahead and we'll try to take up the first topic, if that is how to complete your online store. Now, before we go into the seller panel, we start understanding all the various components which are out there that you have to look into to complete your online store. I'll quickly walk you through this slide, and on the face of it, you may find it a little intimidating. There are so many elements here on the slide. I've attempted to capture what all needs to be looked into to complete your online store. And I'm not sure how many of you were aware that there are so many components in updating the online store. I'll quickly walk you through. The most important one is obviously the product content, or your product information, as we call it. So it has various subcomponents, and we'll discuss each subcomponent as we go into the discussion. And then you have non-product content, which is basically your business information about us, etc., that kind of information. And then we have the third component also, which is called the meta content, which is used for search engine optimization. Now, many of you may have created your online store, but you may be finding that there is very little traffic coming to your online store, and you may not have updated the meta content. That may be a reason. Because of that, there may be other reasons that your website is not indexed properly, etc. So there are a few other reasons as well that may be impacting. But this can be the primary reason that it is not indexed, or it is not indexed properly. And then we have the integration. So this is also related to the three components that we just saw, this one, and this one. So you have done the integration, you have updated the online store product, etc. Everything is done as per the best practice, but how do you know whether it is working or not? And that is where these integrations come in. They are as crucial as the other work that I've just explained to you about Google Analytics, etc. You'll not be able to have in a ship, and you're sailing in the ocean. And without a compass, you will not know where are you, or without your GPS coordinates, you will not know how much progress you have made. You're making some progress, but am I going in right direction? I'm going in wrong direction, or am I moving it looks like I'm moving, but am I moving? So all that information, all that clarity is provided by the integration. So Google Analytics, Tag Manager, etc. From where these integrations are done, I'll explain to you, and I will also share with you detailed tutorial videos which you can review later. Because if we started delving into the each and every component, then otherwise this will become a marathon webinar. We will not be even able to complete it in 5 hours. So we will touch upon the basics, and I will provide to you all the tutorials which will help you understand all this. And then on the top, you'll see there are sales channels that are there. You can see there are different sales channels, GlobalLinker, Indian Business Portal, ONDC. So depending on type of business that you're running, you can list or leverage these sales channels to increase your visibility, increase your approach, and get more orders in inquiry. And then for transactability, especially on the online store, you'll need payment, you'll need logistic. So all that is also something that we are going to discuss today. So we'll keep this presentation on the side, and we'll keep coming back to or switching back to it. Now I'm going to switch my screen and take you to a demonstration account where we are going to understand all these. And in the later part of our discussion, we'll understand how you are going to list your products on the Global Income Marketplace. So let me switch my screen. Allow me a couple of seconds to do that. And here we have a demonstration account, which I generally use to conduct my training workshops. And as I mentioned, well, I was discussing or describing the slide, that product content or the product information is the most important piece of information which is there. And I think it is needless to explain that the product is the reason, or the service. If you are a service provider, then service is the reason why someone is coming to you or approaching you. Otherwise, why would they? Because they are interested in your product, right? The product that you're offering. So that is why it is called the heart and soul. That is the most important piece of information which is there on your website. And that information has to do the magic to generate traffic and leads and orders for you, right? So that is why it is the most important piece of information which requires the maximum amount of knowledge, attention, and work. So what are the components that we have to look into, and from where you can go and update them? Before I show you that, let me show you a dummy product that is also there on this same demonstration store. So I showed you there were a few components to it. And if I quickly switch back to the presentation, so we had product title, product summary descriptions, product long description, meta title and description, product images, and image alt text. So these are the components that we have to be mindful of, or we have to ensure that they are properly updated, they are properly crafted as per the best practice. Otherwise, the result will be less visibility, no orders, or no inquiries. All right, so let's also look at them visually, although I believe all of you understand what are these components, but let me also quickly walk you through. So the first one is product title, which you are seeing here. This is the product title. And down below here, we have the summary description. And this is where at the bottom, you have the long description. So these are the three pieces of information. Then we have the product visuals, and visuals have their own description, which is called the alt text. So that is another thing. And then we have the meta, which is not displayed on the website. It works on the back end, and it is used by the search engines for the results, etc. So let's understand these components and how are you going to update them. So we are now switching to the control panel or the seller panel of the online store. This is of this particular demonstration store, and we'll straight away to go to the product management interface. And for that, in the left navigation, we have to click on catalog, and then we have to click on products. Now, if you are someone who hasn't yet uploaded the products, and then in that case, whatever I'm explaining may be a little alien to you. You may not be able to relate to it, but don't worry. I am also going to share with you a tutorial in which I've explained how you are going to upload the products, and you are going to upload them properly by generating the content or optimizing the content using AI. So how you are going to use the AI, that is also explained in the video. I'm going to share the link of that video, obviously, towards the end of the session. So here, so let's take this product as an example. This is the product. Now, if we have to update the content, if you have to optimize the content, in that case, you can use one of the easiest and most effort efficient way of updating the content is using the embedded AI, which is here. So this is where you can click on get AI suggestion, and which will open this overlay. On this overlay, you'll notice that your existing product description is here, and then some information is there. Now, just to demonstrate how powerful and how useful the AI is, so I'm going to delete this description, which is the existing one. I'm just going to give the product title. So it's a men's blue short sleeve casual t-shirt, comfort. I'll also delete that. And the target audience is, let's say, men of 18 to 50 years, and I'll click on generate, and AI is now generating the entire product content. Now, why did I say that it is the most effort efficient way of doing or creating or optimizing your product content? Because this is where you will notice that AI has created this content as per the best practice. But having said that, there is always scope for enhancing it, or there's always scope for improving it, and I'm also going to share with you a few best practices for each of these elements. So, firstly, with the product title. So, product title is obviously the name of the product, and unfortunately, because many of us come from the physical trade background, so that is where we don't realize, because in the physical trade, the product name does not have any value whatsoever unless it is a branded product and there's some fancy name associated with it. Other than that, you'll agree there is little to none value associated with the product name. For example, I have this coaster. I'm not sure if it is visible on your screen. So this is a coaster. I'll try to point it or place it in front of the camera. So this is a coaster which is there on my desk. Now imagine if I was meeting you physically at your showroom, then what is the name of this coaster does not have any significance or any relevance for me unless you have used the offensive name for the coaster. Other than that, obviously, it does not have any value in the physical interaction. But in the virtual world, this is extremely important. So that is where the best practice is. It should be descriptive. A lot of time you have seen that sellers are adding one word or two word product title. That is absolutely no. You have to add a descriptive product title that is describing the product. It should have the product name. It should have the keywords. And for keywords, you can use Google Keyword Planner to do little research and understand which are the keywords which are getting the maximum amount of traffic, especially the long tail keywords. And you should include that. If you don't want to do the manual research yourself, you can use a AI tool, and AI can do the research, because now AI can access internet. So that's where AI can do that research for you and provide to you the relevant keywords that you should consider. But it is always better to cross check. So if you're using AI to identify the relevant, especially the long tail keywords, and then add that back to keyword planner and check what kind of traffic which is there. So it should not be like you're blindly trusting the AI, right? So it is better to cross check a few, and then if the traffic is good, then you can consider including it. So again, going back to the best practice, it should be descriptive. It should have the product name, product keywords, and little words or phrases around the product features, specifications, etc. So this is where if you look at the product title, it is men's blue, which is one of the attributes, short sleeve, which is another attribute, casual, which is another attribute. It is not formal, it is a casual wear, it is a t-shirt, and the comfort. So those are adjectives describing the product. Now, coming to the product summary description, the best practice is it should be a summary, it should be a brief. You shouldn't be adding a paragraph here, or you shouldn't be writing it like an essay. So it should have a one small paragraph, not more than four sentences long, and followed by bullet points about the features, specifications, or benefit of the product, depending on the product type. So that is the summary description. And then the long description should be around 100 words, and it should have paragraphs. But again, avoid long paragraphs because they're very boring. And immediately, if someone gives you an essay to read, it is obviously very distracting and unengaging. So you should avoid that small paragraphs so that it is easier for the user to consume, the user to read. And your perspective should be to help the customer. You have to help the customer understand the product, right? So you have to explain the product in the most concise manner so that they are able to understand. But at the same time, they have enough knowledge about the product to make that purchase decision, right? So that is for the product descriptions. Now you can see how effectively AI has created. Now you have meta title and meta description. For meta title and meta description, unless you have uh, good knowledge of SEO, I'll not advise that you attempt doing that. It is better to use AI tool, and it will be able to do that in matter of minutes. So you should use AI, and this is where you'll notice that all the pieces of information that we needed, they are all created for us. And this is where it has also created meta keywords which are not relevant, because search engines don't use them for ranking anymore. The next is a summary description. We have to just click on keep to accept it. If we are not happy with the output which is generated by AI, then we can ask it to regenerate it as well. So this is where you can see the entire piece of content is created by AI very, very effectively. So this is where you can easily update the product. So if you have already uploaded the product, then you can easily update it. This is also available for product upload. So that is where also you can use it, but I just quickly wanted to demonstrate this capability. Now, the similar thing can be done using ChatGPT or Gemini as well. There is a way. I'll just quickly, very, very quickly show you how you can do it. So I am currently on ChatGPT. And by the way, tomorrow I'm doing a webinar where I will explain about various AI tools that you can use to grow your business. And if you can take out time, I will suggest that you should attend that session. So for creating this product content in a very efficient manner, because I understand a lot of us are not good at writing prompt, and that's where we need help. And that's where you can use a plugin which is called Keywords Everywhere. It is a browser plugin, and once you install it in your browser, I'm currently using Chrome browser, and here you will notice there's an option which says template. If I click on it, it opens this overlay or pop-up, and on the pop-up you will see there are different categories. So you have to select SEO, and you have to select e-commerce SEO, and you have to select product description generator, and you can select the voice and tone and language, etc. Now we have to add a brief description. So let me just quickly add some description that we generated. I'm not going to add the bullet points, some little bit information about the product you have to add here. And then you have how many words should be there, what should be the total headings, keywords, etc. You can make the changes if you want. And here it is going to generate the product description. So if you want to use ChatGPT, this is how it is going to generate. All right, so let's go back. This is where we have discussed about the product title. We have discussed about the summary description, long description. Doing a quick recap, the most efficient way, if you have already uploaded the product using this AI integration, you should update the product very efficiently. With a little bit of effort, you'll be able to do that. And in case you're wondering that you have a very large catalog and you would want to update, how can you do that? So for that, obviously, this integration will not help you, but you can download this file and you can give it to ChatGPT and ask it to optimize the product title, summary description, and long description based on the industry best practice, and it will do that for you. So that is also something that you can use. And if you're uploading the product, then it is always better to upload it as per the best practice so that you're fixing the issue at the source itself. And that's where you can use the integrated AI, which is available when you're uploading the product. Right? So you can click here and you'll be able to use the AI. Now, I'm going to click on edit once again, because using the AI, we generated the meta information. But just imagining that you are not using this, you're generating it using ChatGPT or Gemini. So in that case, how are you going to update it? If you have to update it manually, you have to just click on product edit, and this is where you'll see the meta title, and this is where you'll see the meta description. So this is where you have to just come and copy paste it. Now, if you have to do this in bulk, in that case, you have to go and download the product update file. And from there, this is the file I'm referring to. So you have to download this, and this is where you'll find a column for product title and meta description, meta title and description. Let me see if I can download it and show it to you. Just give me a few moments. And while it is getting downloaded, about the alt images. So let me try to open the edit product in another browser tab. It is opening up, and the last point in the presentation was about the alt images. So alt images are basically a description of the image, and this is where we have the file. Let me just save it here. Yeah. So this is the file, and if it appears like this, because it will also have the description, so you can just do a wrap text and it will start appearing manageable. So here, I was mentioning to you that you have meta title and meta description. This is the file which is used for updating your product. So it is not used for updating price on inventory. There is a separate file for that. This is primarily used for updating or making any changes to the product itself. So you have to update or change the title, if you have to change the description, if you have to change the long description, or if you have to update or change the meta title description, all that is done using this file. So this is the file here. You can update the newly created meta title or newly created meta description, or if you have to update the product summary or description, you can update it here. And then once you are done, upload it. And from where will you upload it? So you will have to use this option, which is upload products, and the file will get uploaded, and you'll be able to update the products very, very easily. So that is for bulk. Now for alt images, ideally when you're uploading the product, that's where you should add the alt images. If you haven't added them, then if you click on this edit icon, you'll find the alt images here. So alt images are basically a description of the image, and there are again AI tools available which you can use for generating the alt description. Again, this is a very brief summary or brief description of the image. So this will be like a model wearing a blue short sleeve blue t-shirt, casual short sleeve blue t-shirt, something like that. So that is something which you have to add, and this will help machines in understanding the visual in a better way. And then for the visual search or the image search which happens, for that it will help. All right, so this is how you'll be able to update the product very quickly. We are going back on the presentation. So we have discussed and understood about the product title, summary, description, long description, meta title and description, product images. Obviously, minimum 3 images should be uploaded, and image alt text as well. Uh, Let me also share with you a few other inputs about the product images. So very often we have seen that users, when they are uploading the images, they will upload it in various aspect ratio. So some image will be square and others will be portrait. And on the website or even on GlobalLinker or on Indian Business Portal or ONDC, it looks very haphazard. It looks very unprofessional. It gives a very bad impression to you. So don't do that. Even if you are clicking the visuals using your smartphone, try to edit it, try to use Canva at least to give it a good look and feel, and make it or crop it so that they are of the exact size. So all the images are exactly of the same size, or at least of the same aspect ratio. Otherwise, it will look very haphazard and it will not look nice. And minimum 3 to 4 images is something that you should consider uploading. At the end, don't forget the fact that human beings are visual beings, and we believe or we uh, connect with anything that we are able to experience or see visually. So if you're not giving that to your customers, then obviously they are less engaged, they are less able to understand your product, and the result is obvious. You will not get the desired or desired result from your online store. So add as many images as possible, and even in certain cases, because sometimes when I'm interacting with business owners, they say that we are dealing very generic products. So clicking the same product from various angles, it looks stupid, right? So I deal in turmeric powder, let's say. So it will look the same whether I'm taking a top shot or side shot. So in that case, what you should be doing is you should be creating an image highlighting the benefits of the product, right? So same visual, and then there are different callouts going and highlighting the benefits of the product, or if there are any USPs, there is some unique sourcing that you are doing that is famous from a particular location and you're sourcing from there, or there are any sourcing related specialities which are there, you should mention that in that image. So it is not necessary that you have to click it from different angles. You can add other visuals highlighting the benefits, features, or something about your organization as well that is unique related to that product, right? So that is something that you should consider. All right. So I think we have dedicated quite a bit of time just discussing about the product, but I hope all of you understand that product is the most crucial component, although I'm showing a B2C example. But hope you understand that as a customer, if I'm coming here, the product title should be engaging, the product description should be engaging, the long description should be detailed enough to help me understand the product, and the visual should be engaging. Otherwise, there is hardly a chance that I am going to do anything, even if I come across this product. There's a rare chance that I will action on it unless everything is in place. So whether you're a B2C, whether you're a B2B seller, this applies to anyone and everyone. And for the B2B seller, your disadvantage is that the person who's going to be reviewing it is a professional buyer. Right? So they will have expectations of a certain level of professionalism. And that is where it is all the more necessary for you to do it in the best possible manner, right? So I hope the criticality is clear with everyone. All right, so let's move on to the next section, and that is the business information section. Now, for business information or the non-product content, it is basically of two types on your website, and I'm just scrolling down to show you the two types. The first one is the policy content, which you can see here. So this is the policy content, and this is where we have the information content. Now, the policy content is required by the law to be there on your website. It is statutorily required to be there. Now, if you are someone who is into B2B and you are just receiving inquiries, you're not receiving orders, in that case, obviously, return and shipping policy is not relevant to you, but privacy and terms and condition are required to be there on your website. And if tomorrow, God forbid, an audit happens and you haven't updated these, that may lead to unnecessary trouble. So ensure that privacy and terms and conditions are enabled across all your websites. So each and every one of you should ensure that these are enabled, and not just enable them, review the content and then enable it. How you are going to do that, I'm going to explain to you. Let me switch the tab and we are going to now go to the pages section. For that, in the left navigation, you have to click on my store, and then you have to click on pages, which will open the page management interface. And this is where you'll see all the 4 pages that are pre-created for you. But that does not mean you have to just switch them on. You have to also review the content and then switch them on. So how are you going to review? Let me firstly show you how you are going to find them on your online store. So they will be in a disabled state. They'll be like this in a disabled state. Yeah, I didn't click on it the first time. So they will be in this state. So this is where in the disabled or display column, you'll see there's a cross which indicates that it is not visible to the people who are visiting your website. So you have to come here, click on edit, and you'll notice that there is some content, there's some text written there. So you are required to review it. How are you going to review it? The most efficient way is to go full screen, and then you can easily read it. And if you want to seek a legal opinion, then you can just copy it, share it with your legal advisor. And once they have reviewed it, you can come back here, update it, and And then don't forget to turn the status on. Show in footer is to display this page in the footer of your online store, which you should do at least for the policy pages. So both the buttons should be on, and then you should click on save, and that's how you are going to update the policy pages. Now you may be thinking like, this is not that necessary. Why is he taking our time? I just don't want you to get into a legal trouble tomorrow. Now, if you're a B2C seller where you are receiving orders from the customer, so in that case, all the 4 pages, especially the shipping and return, refund, cancellation policies, are mandatorily required to be displayed on your website. So, as I mentioned earlier, please review the content and then switch them on. Don't blindly switch them on. You're just going, click on edit, turn the status on. You should not do that. You should review it and then switch it on. All right. So, those are the policies. Then is the other type of content that you have, that is about us, our story, etc. Now, to create these kind of pages, sorry, wrong tab. So to create these kind of pages, you have to click on Add Pages, which will open this overlay. On this overlay, you have to firstly type the title, and then you have to input the content. I will advise that you may face challenge in writing a very professionally and creatively written business introduction. So use AI to refine it, and then you can add it here. And I will also advise that you should add visuals to it. You should add images. I'll show you an example. This is one of the users, and they have created their about us page quite well. So I'm just showing you that. So this is where you can see this is a about us page of a particular organization. Now, in addition to adding text content, which they have added quite extensively, they have also added visuals and videos to help the user understand. Because at the end, as I mentioned, we have to help the customer here. So by adding visuals, etc., you are helping the customers. One is you are making it engaging. Second is you're also giving visual validation to it. So you're not just typing something, or you're not just adding the text, you are also giving visual validation. So for example, just looking at the building image, it is giving all the more confidence, right? This is an organization, this is a proper professional organization. Like, look at their building, like that. So it is giving visual validation. It is not necessary you have to use real images. You can even use representative images, and that will make your page engaging, and it will also give visual validations also. All right, so that is something that you have to keep in mind when you are creating the content pages. And once you have added the content, turn the status on and click on save, and the page will get updated. All right. So that is about the information pages. Now you have user generated content and blogs, which is also part of non-product content. So user generated content is basically reviews. So whenever a customer is placing an order, try to ask them to give the review. They can come and they can write the review. Uh, so ask them to do that. And if you are into B2B, then try to ask testimonials and display them on your website. That is a very, very powerful piece of content that you can have on your website, because at the end of the day, human beings are social beings, and we trust, or we still follow the crowd. So if we can see valid proofs that there are other individuals who have purchased and they had a good experience, then very confidently we proceed ahead. And that is something I don't think I need elaboration, or I need to elaborate, because that is something almost all of us who shop online do. Before placing an order on a marketplace, typically one thing all of us do is to go and review or go and read the reviews which are added by the other customers, so that we understand how has been their experience, and then we take the decision, right? So that is also a very important piece of content. Now, if customers are adding reviews, then where are those displayed? So those are displayed here, customer product reviews. And as a business owner, you have the option to disable them. So if there's a non-satisfactory review, or there's an unpleasant review which is added, you can just turn the status off, and the review will be unpublished. The next piece of non-product content is your blog articles, which is also a very, very powerful tool which you can use to build engagement and also to create additional content on your website that can help you with the search engine optimization. So you can come here, you can add a link which is displayed on the footer. So if I can show you that. So this is where you have the latest blogs. It is displayed in the footer. If you want, you can add it to the navigation as well. And then you can add blog articles from here very, very easily. Now, again, sometime when I was discussing this point, some of the users have mentioned that, again, we are not content writers, and how can you expect us to write blogs? But I agree, you are not content writers. That can be done by AI. But if you're a product specialist, no one knows the product better than you, right? So give that information to AI and ask it to create the blog articles. In fact, in matter of minutes, AI can do that. In matter of minutes, AI can create a lot of blog articles, and then you have to just post them. And when you're posting them, try to add visual elements as well, and that will, and you can also include or embed your product, so how your product is helping solving that problem. So using blogs, you can at one end make your website more engaging, at the other end it can help you rank better and get more traffic onto your website. So another very, very useful tool that you should not be overlooking on. I'm not suggesting that from the very first day you should be adding blog articles. You can create a calendar. You should at least try to add once every week. So that would come to around 4 every month. And then you can scale it up depending on how flexible or how comfortable you are, or how quickly you are able to create the content. So using that, you should do that. So that is for the non-product content. And then you have the meta. So meta is something which has to be updated on each and every page which is there on your website. A lot of people again overlook that and they just add it to the product, or even not add it to the product. So product part is something that we have already discussed, so I'm not going to take you there. But for the other pages which are there on your website, how are you going to update the meta content? The most important page on your website is your home page. And to update the meta content, you have to go to store details, and that is where you'll see page title and page meta description. You have to add that. And for the category listing pages, you have to click on My Store, and then you have to click on Navigation, which will take you to the navigation management interface. And here you have to click on the Edit button, which will open this overlay. On this overlay, you have to scroll down and you'll see options to add meta title and keywords. So this is the category listing page. Product page is already something which we have discussed. And for the pages that you are creating, like About Us, Our Story, etc., for that, you have to add the meta information in the page itself. So this is where you have the fields to add meta title and description. So don't forget to add it to all the pages, otherwise it will impact the search ranking. Now, the next piece which is there on our presentation, in our presentation, is about integrations, which is equally important, and from where you are going to do those integrations. So for that, you have to go to store settings, and then you have to click on online analytics, which will take you to the online analytics section. And here you have the various sections. You have Google and Google Analytics. These are Google Analytics. You have to input, you have to sign up on Google Analytics using a Gmail ID. You can easily do that. And then you have to input the code here. So once you have done the sign up and created your account, after that, it will give you a code. You have to just add your code here. Then you have Tag Manager. Similarly, using a Gmail account, you should sign up on Google Tag Manager, create an account, and once it is done, it will give you a code. This is where you can see you have to just copy paste the code. And then you have Google Merchant Center. This is relevant only for the sellers who are doing B2C. So wherein you want to accept orders from the customer, and that is where you have to sign up, create an account, and this is where you'll see there's a feed URL which is given. You have to copy this URL and then add it as a product feed, and then the product will start appearing in Google Shopping. So this is these three are crucial. If you're doing advertising on Facebook, then you can also do a Facebook pixel integration. The other very important integration that you should not miss out on is Google Search Console, because that helps you understand how your website is performing on Google search. whether your pages are getting indexed or not. If they are not getting indexed, what is the issue, why they are not getting indexed, and the entire performance, etc. You can easily evaluate that. Now, for Google Search Console integration, again, you have to sign up using a Gmail ID. And once you are done that, this is the kind of code which you will get. You have to just copy paste it here, click on save, and then check or verify on in your Google Search Console account, and your website will get verified and it will get linked with Google Search Console. So very, very easy. We have made the integration very simple, very seamless, so that you're able to track what is happening on your website. Because again, it is like sailing in the ocean. Unless you are using these tools, you'll not be able to figure out where are you heading. So very crucial integrations which you should not miss out. And if you are someone who is wanting to take your website live on your own domain, then I will advise that you should do these integrations once you have taken it live on your domain, while you're building it up, while you're uh, setting it up. If you do the integration, then you'll have to update them once again because you have changed the domain or URL of your website. So that is why if you're wanting to take it live on your own domain, then do it later once you have done that. But if you're wanting to use linker.stores domain, in that case, you can do it at any given point in time. All right, so that is about the integration. Let's quickly have a look at the presentation. So that's where we have discussed with the meta integrations, etc. So all these are discussed. Then we have transactions and logistic, which can be done from the shipping. So this is where you can go to payment and shipping. So both of them are adjacent to each other. This is where we have the payment. So the various payment gateways are pre-integrated onto the platform. You can sign up and you can utilize them for receiving payments from the customers. Now, you should do that once your website is completed, because if you are still setting it up, it is incomplete, and you submit your application, for sure it will get rejected, and then you'll have to do the work once again. So you should avoid that. And then you have courier. So this is where you have various courier services like Ship or ShipRocket. You must sign up with them. And how are you going to sign up? That tutorial is also embedded here. Watch the tutorial, understand the process, and then do the sign up. Okay, so now this is about payment and shipping, and only relevant to the B2C or D2C sellers. And then we have various channels. So the sales channels are displayed here. So you have Indian Business Portal and GlobalLinker. So Indian Business Portal is a platform that we have created in collaboration with the Federation of All India Export Organization. So if you are into export, you should submit your request to list your products on Indian Business Portal using this interface. Firstly, you have to provide certain information about your business. You have to do a IEC verification. Once you are done that, then you'll see the submit request. On the overlay, you have to submit the request, and once your request is submitted, it will be reviewed, and if everything is in order, then your online store will get linked with Indian Business Portal and your products will start appearing there. So it's just a two-step process, but do this once your online store is completed and it is ready. Only then you should do this. And then the next channel is GlobalLinker Marketplace. So to list your products on GlobalLinker Marketplace, you have to come here, you have to click on Marketplace, which will open this overlay. Now, let me close this. When you will come here, in certain products, you may find these alert icons. And if you hover on these alert icons, you will notice that there's some message written there. So it has insufficient images or product description is less. So these are guidelines which are required to be met to list the products on GlobalLinker Marketplace. Now, for example, there are minimum 3 images required. So if 3 images are not there, then you can simply click on edit and you can upload the images, or you can upload it from here. Or if the description is less, you can write it, you can add it here. Or if the long description is missing, you can update it here. So once you are done fixing these issues, click on save and it will get updated. And the alert icon will go away. So these products don't have an alert icon. That means they're okay to be listed. So once you have done this, then the next action that you have to do is to map the categories. Now, category mapping can be done very easily. You can click on this button which says add category, and then you have to type the category here. I just missed what product it is. So it is, let's say, face wash. Yeah, here we have. And then we have to click on save changes and the category will get added. I'll just add that. So very simply, you have to do that. Now, in case you're wondering, like we have quite a few products, and if you are doing like this, it will take us a lot of time. In that case, you can select the products like this. So for example, I am selecting these products like these, and I can click on update category or add category, and I can change the category. So I want to change it to t-shirt. So it is currently mapped to shirt. So I want to change it to shirt. So I can do that very, very quickly. Click on save and the category will get updated. So that is how you have to do the category mapping. You can do it in bulk using the radio buttons on the side, or you can use the add category button. So entirely up to you how you have to do the category mapping. Once you are done with the category mapping, you have to simply request for listing, and the request for listing can be done by clicking this button, and the overlay will come and you can list, or you can again do the same thing. Sorry. You can select multiple products like this and click on list on GlobalLinker and list your product. Now, if you are a B2C seller who wants to receive orders, in that case, you have to let us know. You have to inform us so that we can enable checkout on your online store. And for that, you have to simply drop an email. So here you can see there's a support button. Click on it and it will trigger an email. You have to just simply send us an email, or you can send it on info@globalinker.com as well. And you have to just simply send an email that this is my online store and I would want to have the checkout feature on my products on GlobalLinker Marketplace, and we'll review your products, you'll review your store. And if everything is okay, we will enable that feature. So this feature, in simple words, is on request. So if you want to have that feature wherein people can place an order on GlobalLinker Marketplace, so in that case, you let us know. We will enable that feature after reviewing your business. And once that feature gets enabled, you will see this overlay. So on this overlay, firstly, you have to agree to the cancellation policy, and then you have to specify the return policy. So on my store, you can see I've disabled it, but it is up to you. You can enable it, and you can also specify what will be the return durations. If you want to give the return option to the customer, you can enable it. Otherwise, you can keep it disabled. And then you have shipping policy. That is the policy which I showed to you earlier. So it has to be enabled. So it is enabled. And lastly, you have to provide your bank details. So these bank details will be used for settling the payment with you, because the customer will be making payment to us, and then we will be settling it with you after the delivery of the order or after the return period, whichever is applicable, after the end of return period, whichever is applicable. So in case there's no return period, so after you have marked the order as delivered, within 2 working days, you'll get the payment. And if you are providing the return, so after the end of the return period, within 2 working days, you'll get the payment in your account. And this is where you have to input your details and then click on save. So once that feature gets enabled, then whenever you'll click on list on GlobalLinker, you'll see two options. Otherwise, you'll not see two options. Once this feature is enabled, only then you'll see two options. So inquiry only is wherein people will be able to send you an inquiry that we are interested to buy this product, and then you'll have to respond back to them. If this feature is enabled, then they'll be able to place an order. And even on my store, you can see it's not enabled because I haven't added bank details, etc. It is a demonstration account, so that's why I haven't added that. But once you have added, that feature will become enabled, and then you can list your products for checkout as well. Now, before I stop sharing my screen, I would also want to show to you that if you have enabled or listed your products on inquiry, then from where you can respond to the inquiries that will come. So here you'll see there's a chat icon. You click on it and you will see the inquiries that you have received. You have to click on those, and you will see the inquiry. Now you have to click on this inquiry. This is where you can see there's an inquiry. I have to click on it and it will take me to another browser tab where I will be able to see the inquiry. So it will take few seconds to load up. So don't worry, don't think that what is happening, it is not loading up. So this is where you can see the inquiry is there. So this was for a particular shirt. So I can view the details. These are the details which are provided by the buyer, and then I can reply. I've already given a reply, but I can edit the reply and I can edit my responses and I can send it to the buyer. Once I've sent it to the buyer, it will start appearing here. So here you can see I've shared a few replies, and then the buyer can respond back to me using this interface. All right. So this is how you have to respond to RFQs. And another suggestion that I would want to share with you is keep an eye on this section. So whenever you log into your account, you'll see there is a section which says buyer looking for, right? And this is where you'll see there are a number of RFQs. Ideally, you should click on view RFQs, which will take you to another page. And here you will see all the RFQs which are there. And you have to just briefly go through it. We ideally send emails to all the relevant sellers, but you may overlook the email, or for some reason it landed in your junk folder. So it is a suggestion. It is a good practice that daily try to have a look at this section. It will hardly take you a minute, but there may be opportunity that may be relevant to you or relevant to someone you know, and you can ask them to leverage it. All right. So this is one last suggestion I thought of sharing with you before we conclude this session, or before we conclude the screen share or my presentation. And now we are breaking into the question answer round. I cannot see any question in the Q&A, but if there is any question. Now, while you update or add your questions in the Q&A, I am going to share with you a few details. I mentioned I'm going to share with you a tutorial. So allow me a couple of seconds to do that. All right, so I've shared a few tutorial video links in the chat. And I am also sharing my contact details. Please do feel free to reach out to me if you need any help or assistance. And I am also sharing the help desk contact details in the chat. So I've added all the details in the chat. And I've also given a link to today's webinar's recording. So in case you wanted to have the webinar recording, it is also there in the chat. I can see there's a question in the chat, and the only question I can see in the chat, and that is, what if we have only one product? So in that case, optimize it. It is not necessary about the quantity. Even if you have one product, that should be spot on with all the proper title, description, information, etc. All that added. Now, even for that one product, the blog or other content you can easily create, because every product or every service is a solution to a problem or multitude of problems. So how that product or service is solving those problems, that's something on which there's a lot of content that can be created and that can be added on the website. I can also see there is a interesting comment requesting for the webinar to be done in Hindi. And this is really interesting because I do webinars. If you know me, I do often do webinars in Hindi. In fact, I personally love doing webinars in Hindi. But ironically, whenever I am doing a webinar in English, there will be someone who will ask for Hindi and vice versa. I'm doing a webinar in Hindi and there will be someone who will ask to speak in English. It happens quite a few times. So, yes, we do webinars in Hindi, and I have taken this suggestion. We'll try to have this session next time in Hindi as well. Based on your request, but because the webinar, once it is promoted, because we promote the Hindi webinars exclusively, and that's where the audience also understand that the content is going to be delivered in Hindi, and with the English webinars, because the participants are joining from various nook and corners of the country. In fact, the tomorrow's webinar, which I was talking to you about the AI tools, the members from various countries will be joining. So it is not possible to conduct those webinars or to change the language midway. Uh, so that's why we try to have exclusive Hindi language webinars. And we have taken this suggestion. So next time we are covering this topic, we'll try to have it in Hindi. Uh, One question I can see in the chat is from Arunav, and wants to understand creating a store on Gleewell will allow us to create a store on ONDC platform. Arunav, and this is for everyone. ONDC is not a platform; it is a network. So yes, you'll be able to list your products on ONDC, and in fact, that is one of the sales channel. Because of the positive time, I was not able to show you, but that gives me the suggestion or gives me the cue that I should be sharing the tutorials with you. So allow me one quick second to share a tutorial with you about how to list on ONDC. So once you have created your online store, and for the benefit of other audience members, in case you're not familiar with ONDC, so ONDC is a network. It is a very revolutionary solution that is India exclusive. So which allows sellers and buyers to connect, and there are different applications which are taking care of buyers, and there are different applications which are taking care of sellers. So GlobalLinker is connected with ONDC as a seller network participant, or a application which is helping sellers showcase their products on ONDC. So you can through your online store, you can list on ONDC. I've added the link to it tutorial, Aruna. You can review this tutorial and follow the instructions, and you'll be able to list your products on ONDC. Next question I can see is from Mr. Salim Ahmed. Wants to understand whether domestic or export can be done. Both the things can be done using the same online store. Next question is from Mr. Bipin, and his question is, I have traffic on my website, but how to get orders? So, Bipinji, that is where you have to do a little more deep dive into it and understand, let's say 100 people are coming to your online store. are they your customer? Because there are various stages to a purchase decision. The first, and where the maximum amount of drop off happens, and that's where you can look into the bounce rate which is there on your website. How much is the bounce rate? If it is above 35%, that means that the customers that are coming to your website is a wrong audience altogether. So that's where you have to fix on your customer targeting. Now, if the bounce rate is not high, that is where the customer is reviewing your product. They're spending time. What is the average time that they are spending on a website? That is another parameter that you have to review and understand. And you can use Microsoft Clarity to understand how the customer is going through the website, how they're looking at the website, how they're looking at the product, and then understand where the drop off is happening, whether it is happening at the product detail page or they're happening at the checkout page, and then try to fix that issue. Probably they need more information to make that purchase decision, or they are interested, your prices are attractive, but they are skeptical because of so many frauds happening online. So uh, they may be a little skeptical. So you have to add more visual elements to give that confidence to them, like secure payment icons, things like that. So the solution is obviously not a one short thing. You have to go through the process. You have to do a deep dive into it, understand the various elements, start from the traffic and customer profile, and then go all the way to understand if a person is coming to your store and they are not buying, then why are they not buying? What is the reason? Price is the reason, customer profile is the reason, or my website does not have the required information. That may be a reason. Try to understand that reason, work on that reason, and that will help you improve the conversions. All right. So I can see there is a comment from Mr. Dev Sisodia. Devji, please add your question in the Q&A. Now, while Mr. Dev adds his question in the Q&A, let's discuss. I think, Devji, you want to verify Google Merchant Center, right? So for that, I think you have to verify your domain, because Google Merchant Center, as per my knowledge, didn't require a verification. If you're adding your product feed, then it should, using the tag manager. Sorry, now I recalled. Using the tag manager, you'll be able to verify and link your website with Google Merchant Center. If you need any help or support, please drop an email on info@globallinker.com or info@linker.store. I've shared the details in the chat as well. I'm sharing it once again here, and you will be able to reach out to our help desk team, and our team will help you in linking or verifying your website with Google Merchant Center. All right, perfect. So I think that is the last question. This is where we will conclude this session for today. Thank you, everyone, for taking out time and participating in this session. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Bye-bye from our side for now.